Happy 4th of July to all the beautiful people out there. Cheers. Been drinking more since the pandemic. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Rate and subscribe. I recorded this episode already and forgot to hit the audio button, so it was on mute. Anybody that knows me knows me. I'm a clumsy motherfucker, but shout out to everybody. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their holiday. Whether you're a fan of the holiday or not, I think everybody can enjoy being with their family, taking some time off work. So let's go ahead and get into it. Woj came out yesterday and said that the traction on these trades just isn't there. That no movement. I'll go ahead and pull it up on ESPN, but no movement on these trades. I think the price that they're asking for is probably, the price of the brick is probably a little bit too high for everybody. So, you know, I'll put it up here.
Well, listen, there's still a lot of conversations going on between Brooklyn, teams around the league. You know, two of the teams that Kevin Durant would like to play with, the Phoenix Suns, the Miami Heat, you know, they've both been in pretty consistent contact with Brooklyn, I'm told. But I think both teams individually may not have enough to do a deal with Brooklyn without being able to go out and move some pieces around in 3-player, 4-player trades. And I think for Brooklyn, and I think they're even are more determined after they see the Rudy Gobert trade, the DeJounte Murray trade, the number of picks and assets moving, 5 first-round picks essentially for Rudy Gobert. What's Kevin Durant worth? And I think not just the picks, and I think Brooklyn is going to try to exhaust, 4 or 5 first-round picks, 4 pick swaps in it, but also at least an all-star level player. And certainly that you look it out and who's available.
All right, so that's enough. So you see that, Woj said that they won a monumental trade. What Rudy Gobert got, what is Kevin Durant worth? So I framed this like the NFL. 2 events that just recently happened in the NFL. One was the Christian Kirk deal. The other was Deshaun Watson. So Christian Kirk, if you remember, he got a $17 million a year annual salary from the Jacksonville Jaguars. As someone, I don't think who's even had 1,000 yards in his career. That completely reset the wide receiver market. If you saw after that, a lot of receivers, the starting price for a good receiver was 20. The elite ones went at 25 and upwards. Tyreek Hill had to get traded because Kansas City couldn't match the price. Devontae Adams, same thing. Completely reset the market. A.J. Brown. All these players had to get traded because Christian Kirk had reset the market, and 25 was the price of the brick. 22 to 25 was the price of the brick for an elite receiver. That's the price of the brick. It's going up, right? So that completely changed the market. Then you have a Deshaun Watson deal. Deshaun Watson gets 5 years, $250 guaranteed from the Browns, right? Guaranteed. Easiest contract in NFL history. No outs, no nothing. Fully guaranteed. And then a lot of people had surmised, does this change NFL contracts forever? He got it all fully guaranteed. Derek Carr got his next contract. Everybody looked at it like, no, wait, hold on. What the Browns is doing is what the Browns is doing over there. That whole situation, my name is Bennett. I'm not in it. Don't ask us to do what we're doing. Derek Carr got his situation, was not fully guaranteed, right? So is that trade for Rudy Gobert a Christian Kirk where it resets the market, or is it a Deshaun Watson? That's what they're doing over there. We'll see. Because for me, and I've said this multiple times, and you might call me a KD hater, I don't see how you could justify paying that price for Kevin Durant. It just doesn't make sense to me. So, because you're in a conundrum of where, like, if I pay this price for him, is my team going to be good enough that we can contend? Right? If I'm paying this price for Kevin Durant, is my team going to be good enough that we can contend? And I don't think it is. I don't think you can. If you're paying all these prices, you want an all-star player, you want 4 players, are we going to have enough that we can play? Because we're trading him to win a championship. He's 34 years old, and we don't have time to, oh, we traded half the team away. We can build the team around him. It's not now, it's right now. So, and then everyone has to square away to me his performance. He's the only team to be swept in this playoffs was Kevin Durant's Brooklyn Nets. So how good is he? Like, I know it's a crazy question to ask, but again, the only team to be swept is Kevin Durant's Brooklyn Nets. So how good is he? How can you ask for this all-time bounty when he was on your team and Kyrie, another elite player, was on your team and your team got swept? And the Bucks without Middleton went 7 versus the same team that swept you. Milwaukee, Miami Heat went 7 and the Warriors won. So like, how is this a historic bounty? So we'll see what happens. If I'm the Nets, I just want to get done with this. You want to get as many picks as possible, but holding firm, letting this, let's move forward and let's be a real franchise. Let's learn the lessons. And some people said, is this the end of the super team? Is this I think it should be the end of a team, players coming in and dictating rubbish. And we'll talk about that more in another video. I want to keep this one short and sweet because of the holiday, but I think that ridiculous demands by players, they should never be met. You shouldn't be so thirsty. You never move like you starving. You know what I'm saying? OG told me, you never move like you starving. You move, when you move like you starving, situations happen poorly. My man Gary V in business says, people who get taken advantage of in business are people who are insecure. You're so insecure as a franchise and as an organization that you come in and you will let someone run you around. If you're secure of yourself as a franchise that we're going to be all right, whether we get this guy or not, you won't let stupid stuff like that happen. So I don't know. Hopefully they move smart and they make this deal sooner than later. Because last thing I think the league needs is this shit to drag out or them to try to return and bring it back. Like, it's not working over there. Move on. Other news in the league. Let's see. Let me pull this up. So today, Jeanie Buss, she set the league on fire a little bit. You know, it's a slow news day, but Jeanie Buss had to step in and she sent this tweet out and let me see. It says my screen share is paused. Resume share. New share. Okay. I've been drinking. All right, no, not that. Jeannie Bean, there she go. All right. So it says right here, she says, I miss KB, Kobe Bryant. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to. Honestly, he was the greatest Laker ever. He understood team over self, meaning your rewards would come if you place team goals over your own. Then everything will fall into place. All can reply. So let's break this down one by one because everyone assumes that this is LeBron, but I don't know. I honestly don't, because there's a lot of smoke in here that you can interpret that doesn't really make sense for LeBron, but does make sense for other people in her life. So she says, I miss Kobe Bryant. He would understand and explain everything that I'm not to. She's the controlling owner of the Lakers. Like, there's nothing that she can say that she doesn't, she can't. Who's going to stop her? You're the controlling owner. So if it's about a player, you can say whatever you want about the player. You're the owner. You know, we've seen players step in it, owners step in it. And DeAndre Ayton, owner Sarver, told him, you're not a max player. He's made that public. Cheers. So he's made that public. So the first line leads me to believe this isn't about LeBron. And someone made a point, and we'll pull it up now, that Jeanie Buss, her Instagram photo, her is LeBron. So let's see, Jeanie Buss Instagram. You see, yeah, it's her hugging LeBron. Usually when you're not rocking with somebody, you remove the ops off your video. You know, if somebody's the ops now, you had a breakup, you don't have any pictures with them. And let's see, and she has a picture with LeBron. That's her screenshot. So if she had beef with LeBron, that wouldn't be her screen. Look at her. Look at this one. Look at Jeanie. Look how she giving it up right here. This is Jeanie Buss right here. This is her Twitter profile. Co-founder of Sinceros Tequila. I'm a tequila fan. Everybody is drinking tequila now. What's up with that? Everybody's drinking tequila now. Like I went to Vegas and the Hennessy that wasn't rocking with it. My man, shout out to my man Killer. We got a couple bottles of Hennessy. Nobody touched it. That's the Ciroc vodka. That was the drink of choice. Nobody's rocking with it. Everybody is drinking tequila, and every star that you know of has their own brand of tequila. So I don't know. Shout out to the Rock. I drink Rock's tequila. I drink Casamigos, obviously. So shout out to the Rock though. I fuck with his tequila, and I'm gonna give LeBron's tequila a try. I'm gonna try to give everybody's tequila a try. That's my drink of choice right now. I love Palomas. I got something else going, some bourbon. I like bourbon. I like whiskey, vodka. I started drinking more in the pandemic like everybody else. All right, we're getting off topic. All right, so let's get back to it. Look how Jeanie is giving up in her profile pic, though. I got to go back to that. Okay, he said he will understand and explain everything that I'm not allowed to explain. So this line makes me think that it's about the owners, the other Buss children. If you remember, the other Buss children tried to sue her to take away her controlling interest. The way that Dr. Buss, the late Dr. Buss, RIP, set it up is that Jim Buss, her younger brother, was given control of the team, but he had a timeline to make the team into a playoff team. And if he didn't, then control was given to her. He obviously failed. Control went back to Jeanie. And there's a story about Kobe telling Jeanie that she had to go, Denise Targaryen from a Game of Thrones fans mode on her brother. Kobe wasn't a fan of Jim Buss. Magic wasn't a fan of Jim Buss. Phil Jackson wasn't a fan of Jim Buss. So this line makes me think that it's Jim that she's trying to throw the shots at. And you would say, why would she throw the shots at Jim? And I can explain that here in a second. But let's see, Jim Buss sues Jeanie. No, see, Jeanie Buss, controlling owner. So right here, President Jeanie Buss thwarted a legal attempt by her older brothers. Oh, so they're older than her, Johnny and Jim Buss, to strip her of ownership seat of the Laker board and directors and potentially her controlling interest in the team. Send a notice, blah, 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 blah. In a breach, her attorney interpreted the action as hostile in a breach of the elder brothers' fiduciary responsibility to the co-trustees. Fiduciary responsibility, that's a big part of what my theory is on this, because it just means that when you are a owner of a company that has other shareholders and you are in charge, you can't just do whatever you want to do. You have to make sure that your moves are in the best interest of others. You have a fiduciary responsibility that we both own this thing together, that you can't just be out there spending money on yourself wildly. It has to be in the best interest of the business. So he understood team over self. He honestly was the greatest Laker ever. The only person that could be in this conversation was Magic. Maybe this is a backhand shot at like LeBron, like, hey, you're not even touching Kobe. Maybe, but nobody says that LeBron is close to that because he didn't spend his time with the Lakers. LeBron will always be a Cavalier. That's the jersey he's going to go to Hall of Fame in. It's just, it is what he is. He's a great Laker, but the all-time great Lakers are Magic and Kobe. So maybe this is a shot at Magic. I don't know. He understood team over self. Take that as you want. I don't understand how this wouldn't be And let me finish it. Meaning your rewards will come in place if you value the team goals over your own, then everything will fall in place. All can reply. LeBron, if this message is against LeBron, LeBron is pushing for them to trade for Kyrie. Trade for Kyrie, whatever it takes. And the only thing that could be interpreted from that is he feels that he can win with Kyrie, and that is a team goal, right? So I honestly don't think this is against Kyrie. I think that this is against her brothers. This is a shot that she's taking against her brothers. Because once again, who could she not speak about on the Lakers organization? She can't speak about her brothers because that would start beef because they've already sued her, right? And I'm gonna play you this. Let me bring it up. I'm bringing her up with my man Brian Windhorst, the only insider that I respect. When Wendy tells me it's done, it's done. So this is what he said about the Warriors, Game 5. I don't know if you remember.
Because Andrew Wiggins, he's not an underdog. He makes $32 million. While the Warriors were down these last couple of years, winning no games, they kept spending money because they've got it. They re-signed Draymond Green. They re-signed Steph Curry. They re-signed Kevon Looney. They kept Andrew Wiggins. Boy, did it show up tonight. Andrew Wiggins, with a supreme moment in his career, he was a throw-in a trade. Other teams would have totally gotten rid of him. They stuck with him. They have a $340 million payroll when you consider taxes. You don't just have to beat the Warriors on the court. You got to beat their checkbook. And nothing away from Andrew Wiggins tonight, but this was a checkbook win for the Warriors.
You know, so much of the league is ran by your ownership. Like he said right up here, they have a $340 million payroll. So Jeanie Buss was complaining about paying the tax for a team that didn't make the playoffs. And look at the Warriors. They had a $340 million payroll. They had a high payroll last year and they didn't make the playoffs, right? And they're doing whatever it takes to win. And I'm guessing because the Lakers are a mom and pop shop. They're billionaires, but their billions are the Lakers team. They don't have any assets outside of that, right? The Warriors owners, they have tech money, venture capitalist money, right? They have money outside of that, right? So they're a family-run organization, and the profits have to be split 4 ways between all the Buss children. And I'm thinking that this is her brother saying, we spent the tax last year, right? If you spend the tax again, you're not doing a fiduciary responsibility to us because we didn't win last year. And how are we going to win this year? So that's my guess. I don't think it's a shot against LeBron because once again, she could shoot at LeBron. Who's going to say something to her? But, it's interesting because, go back to the Gobert trade, right? That I talked about. Is it a land trade? I thought it was one of the worst trades I've ever seen in my life. But at the same time, they have a new owner, Mark Lowry. He sold diapers.com to Amazon. Then he sold jet.com to Walmart for $3 billion, diapers.com for like $700 million. So he's the new owner. He has cash and he wants to make a splash. And him and Alex Rodriguez, they kind of pushed this trade. They wanted to get this trade done at all costs. I'm a new owner. I want to spend. I want to do well. I want to, show off that we're going to make a push in this league. We're the Wolves, right? So I can say that the trade was bad, but if your owner is pushing for it, what can you do? And then you look at the Lakers situation, right? Brian Windhorst said this is a checkbook win. The Warriors are going to do whatever it takes to win, right? And I mentioned that they're a mom and pop shop. They're, combined, the Buss family is billionaires, multi-billionaire. But there's big B billionaires and there's small B. And you might think that that's crazy, but that's how billionaires classify themselves. If you know the Showtime show Billions, the showrunners actually talk to billionaires in the finance game. And the billionaires told them there's billionaires, small B, and there's big B billionaires. There's billionaires like Jay-Z, Rihanna, Kanye West. Respect them. They're worth billions of dollars. Diddy, right? LeBron. And there's big B billionaires. There's Buffett. There's Jeff Bezos. There's Elon Musk. There's Ballmer, for example. Like I'll pull him up. Look at that picture, man. First of all, come on, man. This man is worth. Look at the picture they got of my man right here. Why they doing him like that? Net worth. His net worth is $85.9 billion. The Warriors set the record for tax bill this year, and they're about to beat it by 40 million next year. They extended Zubac when they didn't have to, just to make sure that they kept him. They're paying $6 million to Wall when they didn't have to, just to make sure this guy is spending cash because he has it. And like Brian Windhorst said, you're not going to have to beat them on the floor. You're going to have to beat them with your checkbook. The Warriors and the Clippers are in their own conference. So, I showed you guys a story yesterday where they don't want to pay for Joe Harris, who I think is a better player for them than Seth Curry. I think Seth Curry makes it so the spacing is going to be just heaven sent for LeBron and AD. But defensively, they might have some issues running out Seth Curry. I'm a fan of Joel Embiid. I watch the Sixers a lot. Game 7 that they lost to Atlanta, Ben Simmons missed that dunk, but a part of the reason Atlanta was in that game is because Herter ate Seth Curry alive. And you might say, Kevin Herter? Yes, he ate him alive. He's that bad defensively. This is a team that you're going to have to play the Clippers with Kawhi and Paul George. You're going to have to play a Giannis probably, or a Celtics team, or Joel Embiid, a bigger team. So Joe Harris, actually, he works better for you than Kyrie does, right? Seth does. Drinking. He works better for you than those guys do. But the Lakers don't want to pay the tax. But look, you're competing with a guy who's paying $85 million. Clippers, look, I'm going to pull it up so if you don't believe me. Clippers tax bill 2022. Look, estimated tax bill, $143 million. Next, $133 million. You can't compete if you're not willing to pay. If you're not willing to pay the price of the brick, you should get out the thing. I know it's the family business, and Dr. Buss will probably be rolling over in his grave if he traded it. But listen, you're not going to be able to compete if you're not going to be able to play. These two teams are not only in your conference, they're in your division. You're playing them 4 times, buddy. You're playing them 4 times each. Look how they're spending. And y'all complaining about Joe Harris, a player that can actually help you. And I know that there are things, their situation might be, hey, we got Russell Westbrook last year. You guys told us we could win with it. We didn't make the playoffs. We're not doing that again. Kyrie Irving and Joe Harris is a massive, massive, massive upgrade over Russell Westbrook. You got to do it. You're in the cocaine business. The price of the brick is the price of the brick. It's going up. So, I understand. So maybe once again, if that's directed at Ron, that's my spiel. But maybe it's the Buss brothers saying, "Hey, we didn't make the playoffs last year. We paid high taxes. We're not paying super high taxes again." Maybe it's that. I don't know. But if you want to be in this business, you got to pay to play. So I'll go ahead and keep it short and sweet and leave it there. Thank you for everybody supporting me. Cowboys up tomorrow. Try to drop one team a day till it's 32 teams. So I'm probably trying to get it done quicker than that so we can just enjoy our off season. And then I'll wait for the dust to settle on the NBA before I do the good, the bad, the uglies on the teams, because I mean, so much has changed right now. Everything's kind of, locked into place. So we'll see what's going on. So no signings, nothing's happened this 4th of July. It's been a quiet one, but we'll see what's going on later on. Thanks for rocking with me. The game's a game. All right. Thank you for watching this clip. Do me a favor. Push the button. Hit subscribe. Come on, man. Push it.
Call everybody up.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
You heard what she said.
Man, do what's right. You heard her. Push the button. The game is a game.
So what's up, man? What's up with you otherwise, The game is a game. Peace.